Hello, everybody. This is Helpful Heather with my very first TV show review. Yay! If you're like me, I love TV and movies and books, especially TV. So I'm going to talk to you about a show I discovered yesterday. It's a brand new show called The Last Czars on Netflix. It's only about 6 episodes long, so it's not too bad, about give or take an hour each episode. But I'm going to tell you, you will be hooked. The thing that really drew me in, see, I'm not a big one on documentaries or even like novels that read like textbooks. I rather see like the drama and the stories, and this has both. It's really awesome how the director did it. First, they would start off with the drama. They would show like actors and actresses portraying a little bit for a couple minutes, and then they would have real life experts come in and do the documentary about it, and they would show pictures and videos from the 1800s and early 1900s. I didn't even know they existed. So that was very exciting. So let me talk about the actual story. So the last Tsars are exactly that. The last Tsar is Nicholas II of Russia, and it includes his small family, the German Princess Alexandra, and their 4 daughters and 1 son. The daughters are Olga, Tatiana, Maria, and of course the infamous Anastasia. And their son is Alex, who, of course, as you know, has hemophilia. And they were trying to keep that undercover, which I didn't know that. I thought it was common knowledge. But so let's talk about Tsar Nicholas. He came into his Russian throne in 1894, and it even started, the show started off with a bang with pretty much his coronation, and he had bad luck from the get-go. He had the revolutionaries outside. Actually, they were more like peasants that were just revolting, but I mean, the conditions were awful. The Tsar's families were in power for some 300 years, and they were extremely rich, like ridiculously rich. And of course, the people, the peasants and the working class, they were hungry and starving. So he kind of started off, and he was only in his 20s, mid-20s, and his father died suddenly. So he really didn't have that many advisors. He had his uncle, but his uncle was kind of a bad advisor. So let's see. So he becomes czar. He gets married. They have their children. They're trying to have a son because only a son can succeed. So they have their family. Then, you know, early on they discover that the son has hemophilia. They keep it under wraps. And then who comes in? Rasputin. He was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, let me tell you. He thought he could talk to God. He had orgies. I learned so much in this show. So the royal family are living in luxury while the Russian people are starving. And you got his wife, who, she was very progressive for the time. I mean, she told him what to do, told the Tsar what to do. Rasputin came in, and you know, even though he was supposedly the healer of the sun, they really took a liking to him. So then we're going to skip some episodes. And of course, you know, all this whole time, the Tsar's family, the royalty, they have no clue. They just do not understand what's going on outside the walls. People are upset. And then to add, Tsar Nicholas, he keeps getting into these wars. He went into the war against Japan. He went into the First World War. And I mean, these poor soldiers, they didn't even have shoes. They had no food. They didn't even know what the heck they were fighting for. So of course you're going to have civil unrest, and you get a bunch of extremists like Lenin and Stalin, which Stalin comes a little bit later, but he was in the mix, and the Bolsheviks, which I don't know if I told you or not, which I haven't, but I took a Russian class, history class in college, and I loved it. Loved it. So let's see. Okay, so extreme deprivation causes the population to go from civil unrest to full-on revolution. And finally, finally, the Tsar, he doesn't listen to any of his advisors. No, he only listens to his wife, Rasputin. Well, then the people, including the rich and the peasants, are tired of Rasputin. There's been rumors of him, the Rasputin, and the Tsarine sleeping together, and it was just bad publicity. And so then eventually Rasputin is murdered. But he was stabbed, he was poisoned. Finally, he was shot, and that did him in. But so he was, and then the family, they're, distraught over Rasputin dying. So then they had the chance to flee. They should have took it. The Tsar's mother kept telling them to do all this stuff that he didn't listen. Well, they ended up staying. And when they stayed, the Bolsheviks who took over, he pretty much, and he abdicated his throne. I forgot to say that. So he was no longer Tsar. So then the Bolsheviks are like, well, what do we do? And half of them wanted to kill the family. The other half just wanted to let him go. So then the family got pretty much deportated to the House of Special Purpose, which that sounds kind of shisty. It was a house in the woods where political people went to disappear. So as they're being deported to this house, the Civil War officially erupts. The family is in prison, and then as a tragic ending, the family is murdered. All of them. Now, what happened was, after the execution, they buried the bodies, but Lenin and his people announced that only the Tsar was executed. They thought that if they told the world that the whole family, including children, were executed, they would have a bigger problem. So they lied to the people, which that's not a new thing in the Russian government. I hate to say it, but the history is filled with lies. So they told the Tsar, and it wasn't until 10 years later, 10 years, a whole decade later, that it came out that the family was executed. But even then, I think the Bolsheviks, or at the time Lenin, they were trying to circulate rumors that there were sightings, and that's where the whole myth of Anastasia comes in. And for decades, there was plenty of women that came forward saying that they were Anastasia, and it wasn't until, I believe they said the 90s, that it was released that they discovered all the bodies, and they finally put them to rest, which was so sad. These poor little kids, they didn't do anything wrong. So that is the show. I was trying to sum it up for you. It was excellent. I highly recommend it. You will learn so much, and it was a sad time. So that's it. So I hope you find this educational, and I hope you go watch it. Like I said, it has drama, it has documentary facts, so it has a good mix. And then, they show you pictures and videos from the 1800s and 1900s, so that was amazing. So this is Helpful Heather, and I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.